Let's discuss a fitting process. So over many years, firstly starting with buying off the shelf, which I learned was a big mistake, right through to an involved process of individual fittings, woods, hybrids, irons, putting. I have figured out that there's no perfect fitting or fitting experience of an individual nature of a 1 hour length. You really need to combine it with a lot of the knowledge you have gained from many aspects, but also thinking about the customization to you much more precisely than perhaps even fitters do, who either have a particular bias of one indicator or incentivized over a particular brand, or only have an hour to work with you at some expense. And you may be off in your stroke that day, and you may find that the clubs you then go with are not as consistent as even maybe you hit them in that studio with the fitter. As a result, I developed my own process, which is much more elongated but has proved most useful and most effective. This includes a combination of, for any specific aspect, whether it's the wood I'm looking for, or with the hybrid, or the irons, or the wedges, or the putter for that matter. And it included, one, going to a range and seeing what demo clubs they had, including different shafts, different brands, different models, and testing those out, hitting 50 or more balls, a bucket of balls for each, maybe once or twice, so that I have a sense of whether I do really like that particular club, both the look, the feel, the consistency, and the distance. Used one of my measurement tools that is relatively inexpensive, that measures distances, launch angles, smash factors, to see whether I was getting some consistent results. Secondly, I went to retail stores, some of whom do allow you to demo a number of clubs and can also measure your performance indoors through GC Quad or TrackMan 2 or some other device like that, Flight Scope. And then also gone to various manufacturers' days, often sometimes the same manufacturer days 2 or 3 times at different locations, to hone in a bit more and shortlist precisely what I'm looking at. In fact, I found through that process, I adjusted as I went along. Sometimes it was the issue of the lie, which wasn't measured consistently the first time. Sometimes it was the issue of changing the weight slightly on the head, because I was going to shorten the length of, for example, the driver by ½ an inch, and therefore it was important to add another 2 grams of weight onto the head to keep the swing weight the same. Sometimes it was a matter of changing the shaft slightly, because the first one I tested, I thought I fitted me well, but in testing another one, I found greater consistency, less dispersion, found it easier to use, and the launch conditions seemed to be favorable. So these are sort of tweaks you have to do as you go along. There are 1 or 2 good sites that you can go to see how they've done some fitting, to learn some of the jargon and the science behind aspects like swing, the bend profile of shafts, swing weights, etc. And that really arms you with a lot of knowledge to help yourself, but also to hone in with fitters as to the right questions, especially if they've sort of overlooked certain things, take things for granted.